So blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. My name's Reverend Angela Geary, stepping in for Reverend Guy today. Welcome. So good to see you all. Always so good to be back here in Hilltop. I think there's been a little confusion this morning around music. So is there anybody who feels like they could come up and belt out a song? Be ready to stand up and do our music. Feel free to grab the mic. So we are going to do. We are going to be singing along to some tunes. So that's what we're going to do. We've got to step in, right? I do believe there are no mistakes in God. So I think I'm just meant to talk for a really long time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So good to see you all. Welcome to Hilltop. We will raise the vibration. We will share love. We will do everything that we can do to just have that heartfelt experience we always have together. So thank you for being here and welcome.
Green light on. I am Reverend Laura DiDonato, your practitioner of the day. Why don't we say hello and welcome the person next to us? Say good morning. Why don't we just sing happy birthday to all the birthday people? And Liz, too. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Thank you. Mike, this worked. Is it the battery? Okay. No. Yes. Okay. With an old Irish prayer. Do you want me to use Reverend Angela's? No. Every other word. It's my vibration. Am I on? Okay, I am on. I'd like to start out with an old Irish prayer because guess what? Next Friday is St. Paddy's Day. I tried to practice with an accent, but it kept coming out Scottish, so I gave up. May God give you for every storm a rainbow, for every tear a smile, for every care a promise, and a blessing in each trial. For every problem life sends, a faithful friend to share, for every sigh a sweet song, and an answer for each prayer. And now let's close our eyes, let's ground ourselves, be present in this moment, and know that we are beautiful, beautiful divine beings of light, here this morning to share the wonderful message of Reverend Angela and the wonderful love from each other and the beautiful message that will carry us through this week and the rest of our lives, knowing that every time we are together, we're growing and learning and giving and receiving. And we bless this morning, we bless this moment, and we bless each other. Together we say, and so it is. Okay, my quote this morning is from Socrates. The secret of growth is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And now we're going to, before we move into the 3-minute contemplation, we have an affirmation that we've been saying together each week, and then we'll go into the contemplation after that. So we invite you to think of a person or animal or situation. And we say, may they be filled with loving kindness, may they be well, may they be peaceful and at ease, and may they be happy. Now think of our beautiful Hilltop Spiritual Center and our community. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. And now embrace yourselves and repeat each line after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. And so it is. And now we're going to open to a 3-minute contemplation, relaxing, softening, and opening your hearts. let us know that Divine Spirit has heard you. And with gratefulness, together we say, and so it is. And now, enjoy the music Steve has chosen for us.
Say thank you, thank you, thank you, 'cause I'm so grateful, oh grateful, I'm so grateful. So I wanna say thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Now thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you. Just thank you. Thank you. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. Yeah. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I wanna just say thank you now. Just thank you now. 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 Each and every day I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And now Reverend Angela Geary.
It's green now. Can you hear me now? Okay. No? Oh, we're having little mic issues. Oh, let me try. Is that better? Let me try this one. It's better over here, huh? Got to stand over here, all scrunched in to the side. I just made that. Ooh. I just made that word up. Scrunched. Scrunched, all right. So the theme this month round here is the wolf in me and the wolf in you. So I immediately thought of the story of the two wolves. You've probably heard it before. There's a Cherokee grandfather who's talking to his grandchildren, and he's saying there's two wolves inside of me, and there's two wolves inside all of us. And there's a good wolf that is just filled with love and peace and harmony and unity and joy and beauty and abundance. And there's another wolf, a black wolf, that is a little feisty and angry and resentful at times and outrageous behavior and all the opposite of the other wolf. And the grandchildren say to him, one of the grandkids says to him, and there's a fight going on, the grandfather says, between these two wolves. And one of the grandchildren asks, and which one wins? And he looks at them and says, whichever one you feed. Now that's the original story that kind of came out years ago all over the internet. But there's actually another version that I like better, and I wanted to read that to you. If you feed them right, they both win. You see, if I only feed the good wolf, the bad wolf, or if I only feed the white wolf, the black wolf will hide in the dark, waiting for me to falter so it can pounce and get the attention he craves. He will always be angry and will always be fighting the white wolf. But if I acknowledge him, both he and the white wolf can be satisfied, and we all win. For the black wolf has qualities that I need, that the white wolf lacks: tenacity, courage, fearlessness, strength of will, and resourcefulness. The white wolf instead provides compassion, caring heart, and the ability to value the needs of others over my own. Wait, there's more. You see, the two wolves need each other. Feeding only one and starving the other will eventually make both uncomfortable. Caring for both allows them both to serve you so that you can do something greater, something good with your time on earth. Feed them both, and you will quiet their internal struggle for your attention. And when there is no battle inside you, you can hear the voices of deeper knowledge that will guide you in choosing the right path in every circumstance. Peace, my son, is what we must all strive for in life. She who has peace inside has everything. She who harbors a storm within her heart and soul has nothing. How you choose to treat the opposing voices within you will ultimately determine how you live. Reminds me of what the Buddhists call strong back, soft front, that we need both. And I think this is a story of welcoming all parts of ourselves home. That, as Carl Jung says, you know, there's gold in the dark. There's gifts in the shadow. And that somehow we've split off and we decided what parts of us were good, and those were the conscious parts that we show up with. And we decided other parts were not so good, so unconsciously we hid them, and they became our shadow. And, you know, last week, Reverend Guy talked about the cultural, all the stuff that we buy into, right? The race-conscious thoughts, the collective unconscious, the false beliefs, the cultural mythology, the ancestral mythology, the familial mythology, all that stuff that we take on, right? From the moment we're born, we're conditioned. We're conditioned and we don't even realize it. We take on beliefs and ideas. And a lot of them, most of them, aren't even true, right? So he talked about bringing those to light, shining the light of truth on them, dismantling those truths. John O'Donohue says, we carry the clay of our ancestors. There's a lot of talk about ancestral trauma and all of that right now. Gabar Mate talks a lot about that, how that trauma from our ancestors, we take it on without even realizing. It lives on a cellular level within us. So ours is to shine the light of consciousness on all of that, right? We can't change what we're not aware of. To own our so-called shadow self, to welcome it home, to, as Debbie Ford says, find the gift in it so that we can have that beautiful balance, that kind of Durga, Kali goddess energy that is fierce at times when it needs to be, that can use its anger in a powerful way, that can have that tenacity of will, that can have strong boundaries, that can speak truth to power and speak truth and not let anything hold us back. We need some of those parts that we have hidden or thought were not acceptable by society. And we need our compassion and our loving heart. And what we don't own owns us. So there's a beauty in welcoming all parts of ourselves home without any judgment. So that's one way I think that we have taken on stuff that that's one way we deny parts of ourselves, a suppressed dimension of ourselves. And we call all these parts home not to judge them, not to try and change ourselves in any way. It's whoop-de-doo, I have an angry part. Whoop-de-doo, I have a part that sometimes gets envious or jealous. These are the parts that need our love the most. The parts we have the hardest time accepting about ourselves are the parts that need our love and acceptance the most. We do it so we can be integrated. We do it so we can stand in the wholeness of who we are. And I wanted to read a little from Derek Rydell, the Emergence book here. Remember, these shadows are like children you've abandoned, disowned, judged, or criticized, probably for years. But the fact is that for a long time you've believed the way to heal, grow, and improve is to judge, shame, or beat the bad parts of yourself out of yourself. And now you're building an intervention of sorts, a family reunion, bringing together these seemingly broken and divided members to learn how to love each other again. This takes time. It's certainly possible to experience radical breakthroughs, just as you can have a major healing of a relationship by finally getting honest and forgiving. But more often, it's a gradual process of regaining the trust of these aspects of yourself, rebuilding rapport, getting to know who they really are, what they really care about and want, and how to meet their needs. Let's take a breath. It's gone a little quiet in here. We talk of shadow and those tender parts of ourselves, because Jung says, I'd rather be whole than good. sometimes in the name, getting tears, I guess I'm resonating, sometimes in the name of being nice man, nice woman, we give up certain aspects of ourselves, do we not? And we give up certain aspects of ourselves. We are not standing in the wholeness of spirit that we know we are and that we're born to be. And so that's one way that I think we cut off from what we're here to be and what we're here to experience. Another way is we become that we're conditioned. We can look at the conditioning because the Course of Miracles says the healing is in the undoing. The healing is in the undoing of all the conditioning that consciously or unconsciously we have bought into since the moment we came into human form. And another part of that conditioning is we have been conditioned to believe that we are this body, that that's what we are, that we are these thoughts, that we are this voice in our head, that we are these feelings, that this physical life is all there is. We've been taught that doing is better than being. We have been conditioned to believe in, an ego consciousness. And what we know as metaphysicians, what we know as in our teachings of New Thought and Science of Mind is we're spirit first and foremost. We're spirit made manifest in the flesh. We're the light of the world. We're the harmony and the peace and the love and the joy, the wholeness, the freedom of spirit. And we have to set up practices, I think, to continually remind ourselves, to keep going back to what's beyond the thought that I'm having. What's beyond this mind that is telling me what I like and don't like, what I want and don't want. What's beyond this mind that likes to complain or compare or whatever the strategies of the monkey mind and the ego do. Michael Singer talks about just relaxing back behind those thoughts. Just relaxing back, practicing that each time. And that if we relax back far enough, we'll get to that place where there is no thought. And when we're in that place of no thought, we're absolutely grounded and anchored in spirit, are we not? So that we rise up into our quantum selves, the light that we are. We can't touch it. We can't feel it. We can't see it. But we've all had glimpses of it. We've all had moments, maybe, where we're caught in that present moment of the beauty of a sunset or the love of someone we're experiencing great love with and from, or in a setting like this, or in a meditation where we felt it. Spirit, the divine, that's the truth of who we are. Wouldn't it have been wonderful if some of you may have been lucky enough to have been told that or had that experience as children. Most of us were born into a society that told us we were our bodies, we were our thoughts, we were our feelings. We've also conditioned to believe that the divine masculine, is the way to do things. That it's about doing, that it's about comparison, it's about accomplishing, it's about, strategizing and being in the mind. And of course, to a certain degree it is. Unconsciously, what we've been told is to deny the divine feminine. To deny those parts of ourselves that can just be in the dark, because that's what darkness is. It's like a womb. It's the divine feminine. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But that the divine feminine energy within us is the part that can just be. It is the soft front to to the strong back. And we need both. It's the compassionate heart. It's the forgiving heart. It's the loving heart. It's the unified heart. The feminine is not about competition, it's about collaboration. So we claim, we're starting to claim, the invitation is to claim all this back so we can step into the fullness and the wholeness of spirit that we're born to be. We've also been conditioned, I think, or taught to deny or be afraid of, or to have fear around the darkness. And again, quoting from Jung, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. We've been told, and sometimes our new thought teachings even can be a little, I don't like the word guilt, but can reinforce this belief, that there's something wrong with us if we're not in absolute ecstatic joy and love and harmony and bliss every moment. Like, what's wrong with our consciousness that we're not in that high place all of the time? Darkness is part of the process. We're to welcome it. Seeds need the darkness to germinate, to be still and quiet, in order for the blossoms to bloom. As I said before, the darkness is like a womb. It's a dark place, but it's a place where growth is happening. It's a place getting us ready for expansion. And some of you may have heard about this amazing tree called the jack pine. It's called the jack pine, a fire tree. And this fire tree is an amazing tree. It doesn't release all its seeds at once. It stores them in these cones, hard cones, that are glued together really tight by a hard resin. And the only thing that unglues these cones with these seeds in is fire. And so the forest fire comes, and the flames descend from the crown of the tree, and it melts the resin, and the resin of the cones, and the resin opens, and the seeds are scattered on the floor bed of the forest. But the transformation by fire doesn't even stop there. What the fire does at the same time is it burns away all the debris and the plants and the stuff on the forest floor bed that creates a wonderful environment for a seed bed for the new seeds to grow. So Derek Rydell says, scorching everything to the ground, the dance of the jack pine and its fiery foe reveals that the wrath and renewal of birth are one. It's the same with us. The wrath and the renewal of birth, our divine birth, our transformation, our rising up are one. And we need both. And in many ways, problems and challenges and the darkness that we're in are answered prayers. Because the universe has an evolutionary plan. It's always conspiring for our good. And it seeks willing places for its ever-expanding expression. So even, and maybe particularly, in the midst of chaos, destruction, and loss, it's conspiring for our freedom. It's preparing the seedbed of our consciousness, of our soul, for something more to emerge. If you can just know that. If you're in a dark period right now for whatever reason, you are being gotten ready by Spirit. And in spiritual healing, the dark night of the soul, is the stage before the illumination stage. It's preparing us. We've been taught to fear the dark. We've been taught to just change our thinking. And to a certain degree, we don't want to wallow in the dark forever. These are always fine lines. But recognizing that we are, and recognizing that just like nature, we need both the dark and the light. We will rise up. We always do. We always do. And we all experience these seasons of darkness. It can't be avoided it can't be avoided if we're going to grow, we have to go through it. And in the darkness, we let go, really, that's what it is. It's Jacob wrestling with his angels, right? It's Jesus on the cross. It's, St. John of the cross. It's all the saints and mystics have had a dark night. And what happens in the darkness is there's a letting go of self-image, the ego self-image. And we're left naked. We're left, who am I? Who am I if I'm not the overachiever? Who am I if I'm not the people pleaser? Who am I if I'm not the nice girl? Who am I if I'm not the funny guy? Who am I if I'm not in my intellect and my head and working it all? We're left. Well, who we are amazing expressions of spirit. And in the dark, we're shedding our skin so that the beauty of our soul, the beauty of our being can reveal itself. And we can get lost in the darkness. And it's okay to let ourselves be lost. When we just let ourselves give in and be lost in the darkness, there's a magical, numinous, mystical thing that happens, and that we realize we're really not lost. We're really not alone. It feels alone when we're in the darkness, I think. That's been my experience. What we realize, as all the mystics and saints realized, if we let ourselves go deep enough into that, we will realize we're not alone. We hear the still small voice of spirit. We feel the flutter of the angels' wings around us. We hear a voice of a loved one. We feel our pet come up and snuggle right next to us, or something happens that reminds us we're not alone. So we need not fear the darkness. We can welcome it as a sign of our unfoldment. We can welcome it as a sign that we're transforming. We can know that we are one with nature, and all the seasons and all the rhythms of nature are the seasons and rhythms of each and every one of us. We need not fear. And as we respect and as we honor the darkness, we emerge more authentic, more truthful, a more truthful idea of who we are. So we have to, that's it. I'd rather be whole, I'd rather be authentic than scared of the dark, the not willing to own that I have some shadowy little places in there, right? It's all about that, standing in that, who we are. Just take a breath, everybody. The other thing, even though I know we're all religious scientists, so to speak, or new thought or whatever, see, there's an unconscious belief in sin and punishment. We're born into a Judeo-Christian kind of culture. This idea that we've fallen from grace, this idea that somehow we're flawed or something's wrong with us. Take a breath, because there isn't. That's the beauty of it all. But even if we think we don't believe that, You might notice our thinking sometimes. When a lot comes at us, I so often hear people say, what have I done to deserve this? And again, new thought principles and teachings can lean in this way too. It's like a punishment. I didn't do my affirmations and my prayer work, and I didn't stand in the highest consciousness, and now I have a cold. Now I'm sick, right? That's kind of another way of a way of playing with the punishment theme. Oh no, Spirit wants only our highest and greatest good. Spirit wants only that more of its love and its peace and its wisdom and joy reveal itself through and as us. There is a law of cause and effect. And Spirit doesn't intervene with that, just like there's a law for gravity. So if we are not good stewards of our thinking and of our consciousness, and we don't practice well-being of body, mind, and spirit, we may get sick, we may not, but everything is here by divine appointment anyway. If we can use everything that happens to us as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity for deepening. When we identify with Spirit, we move beyond polarities. We move beyond good, bad, right, wrong, like, dislike, want, don't want. It's all just life unfolding. And we can look with a sense of wonder and curiosity and say, isn't it interesting that this situation is happening in my life right now? And how can I love myself? How can I take myself by the hand? How can I treat myself with gentleness and compassion so we can walk through this darkness, so I can walk through this darkness with all parts of myself and love myself through back into the light that we're born to be in? So we let go of our belief, and the core belief, and Reverend Guy talked about this last week, it all boils down to our belief in separation. The belief that we're separate from Source. The belief that we're separate from the light, from Spirit, from infinite wisdom, from divine grace itself. So we come home to the truth of who we are, perfect, whole, complete in God, knowing we are the light of the world. Emma Hopkins says, there is good out there, and I ought to have it. I love that. Let's say that together. There is good out there, and I ought to have it. There is. We're born for good. We're born for joy. We're born for peace. We're born to love and be loved. We're born to serve each other. We're born to share our purpose with the world. So we bring the light of truth to our false beliefs, to our fears. We have the courage, and this is courageous work, dear ones. We have the courage to look within, to own our stuff, to be transparent with ourselves, without judgment. Say, yeah, I could use a little clearing up around here. Yeah, I notice I'm a little reactionary over here. How do we know what needs to be cleaned up? By how we are in the world. What are we reacting strongly to? What triggers us? What causes upset? And not to make the trigger or the upset wrong, but to say, it's showing me someplace I am standing in some false belief about myself or about life or about the world. Let me explore that. Let me be the witness. Let me look within and excavate and see what's really going on so that we can choose again. We can reinterpret our stories. We can reinterpret the stories of our childhood. We can make different choices. We can have different beliefs. I want to read one more passage from the Emergence book. This has become my little Bible. I kind of constantly go back to it. This is about... There's a deeper dimension to interpreting our story. Not only are most circumstances not entirely what we perceive them to be, but there's often a bigger purpose at play within them. The way every character and plot twists in a great story has been perfectly designed to illuminate the ultimate theme. And when you tap into the divine author's intent, not only can you turn a bad childhood into a good one and reap the rewards of that new perspective, but you can also unlock a power in these key moments which prepares you for the emergence of your soul's true purpose. We free ourselves up to be the love, to be the power that we're born to be. And we move. This is our journey, I believe, what's going to lift us out of this, Andrew Harvey calls it ordained disaster that we're going through on the planet right now. We feel it. I know I say this every time I'm here, but we can't deny it. Because countries go through their own dark night of the soul. Countries have their own darkness. Planet, and that's what we're all being called to look at, to look collectively at what's going on. And what's going to shift it is those of us who are already in the know, moving out of the density of matter, moving the chess pieces around, coming up with different things here and there on the earth plane, in the physical, but knowing who we are in spirit and setting our consciousness straight, cultivating congruent conditions in the soil of our consciousness that we can stand knowing I am not that. This is not real. What's real is spirit, that there's another realm. And when we all start living there, when we all start relaxing back and having experience of the divine and know that as the truth about us, then we know that to be the truth about each other. And we come together in that namaste. The God in me sees the God in you. And we can say that. When we're in spirit, we can say that to the oppressors. We can say that to the people we have big differences with. We know that there's only one of us here. And we stop playing out different personalities and different beliefs and different all of that. We live in the realm of the divine. We're the light we're born to be. That's what a prophet or a mystic is. Someone who sees through the mist, the veil of illusion, the physical realm, the mind, the thoughts. Jesus was one of our great examples. He lived fully in the light. He was a light being. And he showed us how to live on earth and to be a light being. And because he lived in the light, he could heal at the speed of light. And what he said is, I am no different than you. We all have that within us. Wouldn't it have been wonderful if we'd been told that from the moment we were given birth to? Wouldn't it be wonderful if countries and cities and towns and continents and all beings everywhere knew this truth of the light? So let us pray into that light. And just with the power of your intention, I just invite you to, whether you know what parts you're calling home or not, just to say, I call all parts home. I see you. I see you. That part that gets scared and constricted. I hear you. That part that gets hopeless and frustrated, disappointed. It's okay. I see you. I welcome you. That part that waves its fists and gets angry and upset. Come here, scared, lonely, vulnerable little part. I see you in the darkness there. And the light in me shines the light of love upon you, that little lonely part within. The one light, the one love, the one power, the one presence. Always, always sharing its love, always shining its light, its beauty apparent everywhere in everyone and everything. We feel it in this very room right now. I'm one with it. We're all one with it. All sentient beings are one with it. We're spirit first and foremost. We were the light before we were anything else. We are the light now, and when we leave these physical bodies, the light in us will continue onward, upward, and forward on its journey of life. So we practice. That's what I know for us. We undo the conditioning. We dismantle the false beliefs. We shine the light of love and compassion on the fears, on the doubts, on the parts of us that don't quite stand in faith and trust. And we remember who we are. And I'm grateful to know for us that we take on more than ever right now are the practices that keep us anchored in the light. Our prayer, our meditation, our singing, our chanting, our yoga, our movement, our gathering in spiritual places, whatever it is, our inspirational reading. That becomes the most important thing. And as we stand in our light, as we heal ourselves, we become a brighter light in the world, and the world is changed, their vibration is lifted. So grateful. So grateful for the beauty of spirit beating each heart and breathing each breath. So grateful that peace is here now in this moment, and that we choose it. It begins within us again and again and again. And we tend to the seedbed of our consciousness and our soul. That's ours to do. And we walk in faith and trust of knowing that there's a divine plan that's always unfolding, and everything that is happening in our own lives, in the life of the collective, is all part of that divine plan. And it's all part of the calling. The calling is home, to the light we are, to the goddesses that we are, to the bright, illuminous ones that we are. So I give thanks for this knowing. I release my word. I set the law of attraction into motion. And as always, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that all is done. All is done already in the mind of God. There's already a world that works for everyone. In the invisible realm, there's an imprint of it. Picture it. There's already an imprint of each one of us in well-being, in freedom, in joy, and in love. Let's hold the vision of it. And let us know that that which is done in consciousness, that which is held and aligned within consciousness, can do only one thing. And that is eventually, in its own divine timing, and we need patience in the process, in its own divine timing and in its own perfect way, show up through and as our life, through and as our planet, through and as our countries. We are born again and again and again. And each breath we take is an opportunity for rebirth, for renewal. And with a grateful heart, I let it all be now. And please affirm this with me by saying, and so it is. Amen. Everybody, namaste.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
are the face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of love.
You are the face of
You
love.
are the face of love.
I hold you in my
I
heart.
hold you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
Face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of
You
God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the
Tu
face of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
es judoí.
You are the
You
face of
are the face of God.
You are the face of
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the
It's okay. Sorry, I'm taking up all the room.
take a deep breath after that. My goodness. A little over a month ago, I mentioned that money is love on paper. Taking that a step further and moving into our tithing segment, just think of how many places that paper has been, which is love passing on to another person, to another person, to another person, to another person, helping so many people and so many organizations and so many people that needed the help and so many people that just received and gave out of the goodness of their heart. Now let's hold our tithing on our hearts. Whether it be joy, love, peace, the presence. I am grateful for my abundance. I am grateful for what I give. I am grateful for what I receive. And I am so grateful for this moment, for this divine life I am living right now. I am so grateful. And I pass this love on to others. And together we say, and so it is. Oh. Sorry. All right. And now it's time for the announcements before the benediction. And I'd like to remind you that we'll meet in the Emerson room for prayer, for healing and manifestation. That's what prayer is. It's not begging or pleading. It's knowing. And so if you'd like to know with me together, have a healing and a manifestation, meet me in the Emerson room after the service. And now I'd like to call Andrea up. No? Okay. She's shy.
Hardly.
Okay, so our new members class with Reverend Guy and also our Hilltop Center information will be Wednesdays, March 8th through the 29th. You can still sign up. It's not too late. You can still sign up. It's only on Zoom, though. So we apologize to anyone that came knocking at the door last Wednesday. We're so sorry. But it is on Zoom. And what would be fun if you don't have that kind of equipment or can't get online with that, call up a friend and do it with them. That would be fun. And then we also have Well-Being and the Tao with Jim Jones, Sundays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yay! Would you like to say anything about that? About what it's... Come check it out. Ooh, it's a surprise. And also tap into the presence of your being with Paul, our practitioner Paul, Wednesdays 1 o'clock to 1:30. Yay! And we have lots of fun concerts coming up for the summer and the fall. We have lots of classes coming up, new classes too. And if you have any events that you would like to rent the center for, then just get a hold, call Andrea at the office, call the Hilltop Center, and we'll get that taken care of for you. And we get a little bit of discount for being members. Woohoo! So I know. Very cool. All right, and now I'm going to hand it over to Reverend Angela Geary.
Right. So let's stand, and I'm just noticing I rely on Sonny after I give a talk that sometimes evokes feelings, which I totally think it's great to have feelings come up, but normally he'll do an upbeat or a funny song to kind of shift the energy. So I'm missing him right now. He would do something. He kind of picks up when it's like, okay. So I'm going to do, let's just take